Welcome back to the Home Studio Simplified channel. This is Robert McClellan. I'm here to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. Today we're going to be talking about the new updates that are coming soon to Cakewalk by BandLab. One of the first major updates that I want to talk about in the new Cakewalk by BandLab release is the integrated BandLab library access. Now, what does this mean? Well, up until this point, BandLab and Cakewalk have been sort of two separate entities. One that dwells on the desktop, that being Cakewalk, and the other that dwells on your browser, that being BandLab. Although they've always worked in concert together, there's really not been that much of a seamless integration between the two. However, with the new update, that is going to change. This new update is going to support downloads and uploads, as well as tracking revision states directly from within Cakewalk. Subsequent uploads to BandLab of a modified project are going to be automatically tracked as revisions to the parent project. There is also support for importing clips and MIDI tracks from BandLab projects. The brand new library view, which can be found in File, Browse BandLab Projects, now allows you to navigate your projects on BandLab and set revision and song properties directly from within Cakewalk. So what could be some major benefits from having this BandLab library integration within Cakewalk? Well, first, you'll be able to easily publish Cakewalk projects, stems, and mixes to your BandLab library. Those will then be able to be accessed by anybody with a BandLab account across the world. You can also quickly open BandLab projects within Cakewalk now, a lot easier. Both of these things will allow you to collaborate easily by sharing audio tracks via the BandLab cloud. Likewise, you can bring projects started on the mobile BandLab app into Cakewalk for VST effects and advanced editing. You can even fly in vocals or other parts for a Cakewalk project from iOS and Android as well. Essentially, this allows you to curate your music as playlists that you can then play anywhere from your mobile device. To publish the current project to your BandLab library, select File, Publish to BandLab, or choose Export and BandLab from the Export module on the toolbar. When publishing to BandLab, a project may be uploaded as a new project or as a revision to an existing BandLab project. BandLab projects always point to the latest revision. From here, you can then use the upload settings to pick the combination of project assets that you wish to upload to the BandLab project. Now, it's notable to mention that tracks and buses are mixed down prior to uploading to BandLab. Conversely, to open a BandLab project, select File, Browse BandLab Projects, and from here, you may open it as a new Cakewalk project or import into an existing project that you already own. Revisions are only tracked if you open as a new Cakewalk project. Now, just as before, you can use the download settings options to select the types of assets from the BandLab project that you wish to download and open as well. It's also notable to mention that if you have multiple BandLab user accounts and would like to sign in as a different user, you need to select Help and then go to Sign Out from BandLab, then select Help, Sign Into BandLab to sign in with a different account. The next major update I want to talk about is the addition of a tempo track. The new envelope-based tempo track replaces the tempo view and provides an overview of the project tempo itself. In the tempo track, tempo changes are represented by envelope shapes. You edit the project's tempo map the same way that you would edit automation envelopes. If a project has a single fixed tempo, the tempo track shows a straight horizontal line. From here, you can create tempo changes by adding envelope nodes and editing their values. You can then expand the tempo track to give yourself more room to work and adjust the range of values for the tempo track from within. To show the tempo track, you can do one of the following. You can either click the track view menu and select tempo track show and hide, or you can also select views, tempo, or press Alt-Shift+5. This also opens the tempo inspector. The tempo track automatically zooms vertically to fit the tempo range each time the tempo envelope is modified. To zoom vertically, simply drag up and down in the tempo scale with the left mouse button. To scroll vertically, drag the tempo scale with the right mouse button. To auto zoom to fit the envelope, just simply double click the tempo scale. The new command, Project and Offset Tempo Map, lets you speed up or slow down the entire tempo map. For additional options, you can also right click the tempo track. As a quick tip, there is a new workspace actually named Tempo that has a layout suitable for tempo editing as well. Now, after update, it is notable to mention that your old custom workspaces have no knowledge of the new tempo track, so you must resave the workspaces if you want to store the state of this tempo track. Now, let's talk a little bit about the tempo inspector. The tempo inspector shows a list of all tempo changes defined in the project's tempo map and allows you to edit each tempo change, BPM, time position, and even curve type. The third major update for the new Cakewalk by BandLab release is going to be a huge one for a lot of people who have watched my tutorial videos and the live mixing sessions that we've had here on the channel. And that is the addition, finally, of the Cakewalk 𝗂𝗂 back into the ecosystem. Although this isn't the larger plugin edition that was originally included with Cakewalk Sonar Platinum, this version is the Pro Channel version. So it's called the 𝗵𝗂 T-type leveling amplifier, and it is meticulously modeled after a legendary vintage electro-optical tube compressor. This compressor, known for its automatic gain control characteristics, delivers a vintage sound with incredibly warm and rich compression. It's revered by audio engineers worldwide for its trademark sound and has been used on countless hit records since the late 1960s. And now it's yours on the Pro Channel. This is one of those extra added little value nuggets that they didn't necessarily have to include in here, but once you see it in action, you're immediately appreciative of it. You can now optionally show waveform outlines in the clips pane. To show or hide waveform outlines, click the Track View menu and select Display and Show Waveform Outlines. And immediately you can see that it's so much easier now to see your waveform outlines whether they are selected or not selected. Now let's talk about some of the enhancements that are going to be included with the update as well. An enhancement that's been added to the arrangement section is that you can now loop the current arrangement indefinitely by enabling the Loop Enable or Disable button in the Arranger Inspectors pane. Likewise, the plugin menus have been greatly enhanced to make it easier and faster to find and select plugins. The plugin menus now show color-coded plugin types with VST, VST3s, 32 bits, and DX. The plugin menus themselves have also become larger and can show now over 1,000 plugins. There's also multiple columns that will appear when applicable. The fonts are much clearer, and it supports mouse wheel scrolling, which it didn't before. Another great enhancement has been to that of the appearance of the automation envelope. The automation envelopes are now slightly thinner, and the nodes are smaller and no longer have a gradient. Selected nodes are larger and outlined, and ghosted envelopes no longer show nodes. And while I'm on the topic of envelopes, you can now optionally show your values on the envelopes themselves. To show or hide values on automation envelopes, click the Track View menu and select Display, Show Values on Envelopes. Another great enhancement has been to that of the Track Manager. There are now presets available within the Track Manager. The Track Manager dialog box now has support for per project presets. This is useful if you have a large project and you want to hide all other tracks apart from a certain group of tracks. For example, on a rock project, you could have the drums only or guitars preset. On an orchestral project, you may wish to have a string sections preset that hides all other tracks apart from just your strings tracks. To open the Track Manager, you simply click the Track View and Tracks menu and select Track Manager, or you can just press the H key on your keyboard. Okay guys, that wraps up today's video about the upcoming improvements to the new Cakewalk by BandLab that will be released soon. If you'd like to see a list of the other bug fixes, the user interface fixes, as well as stability fixes that are going to be implemented, you can head on over to the link that's provided in the description below so that you can get to know more about that. Likewise, if there's any ideas that you have of something that you would like to see implemented in a future version of Cakewalk by BandLab, feel free to follow the link in the description for that as well, so you can input your ideas into the forum. A lot of times those ideas are picked up by the folks over at BandLab and implemented. Until next time, guys, remember that you can dream alone, you can create alone, but together we can achieve so much more.